my best friend. That's my best friend.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Mo. You already know what it is. Welcome to the new channel, Money Talk. A channel dedicated to buying and selling cars, making money, and chopping it up when it comes to making money. You know, everything from eBay business to working a career to anything you could think of. So watch the video, see what you think. If it's something you're into, but for sure, hit that subscribe button. You know, I assure you, I will be dropping jewels for you when I do my best. But I'm sure I'll have some way to charge, right? But everything that you can pay for will always be given to you for free on this channel. If you want it to be boxed up in a nice little ribbon and bow, absolutely, let's charge for that. But if you're okay watching videos, then you'll get the same information, just not so condensed. I just want to get that out in the open now. I believe in 100% transparency. I believe being straight up front and honest. And because of that, I'm going to let you into a little secret about my thoughts on everything that's going on, right? Well, not everything, but financially speaking. So I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. It doesn't really matter to me. They're all liars as far as I'm concerned, right? But this new administration, I look at it like this. I have student loan debt. I chose to go to school. I chose the career path that I chose. No one held a gun to my head. There was nothing there. Was I lied to? Yes, I was lied to by the, I don't want to say administrators, but like admissions office. I was lied to in the very beginning because it's their job to sell you, okay? And they sold me. Am I happy with my career now, almost 10 years later? Yes, I am. I've climbed the ladder. I've make a certain amount of money, which I don't think anyone's ever really happy with the amount of money you make. But here we are. We had this person running for office, and one of their major things was, let's erase student debt, right? I'm a big believer in, if you say something, you should do it. Before you say it, you should know you could do it. Now, I could care less at the time about him erasing my student loan debt. I made decisions, like I said. But because he was elected, and that's what he ran on, I think, as the American people, we should make that individual hold to what they promised. A lot of millennials, a lot of people out here are suffering for decisions they made. Let's not forget that. But someone else made a decision to run on their hard times and is now coming up with a bunch of reasons why they can't do what they said they could do. So in my opinion, before you made that promise, or before you made that statement, you should have known what you can and can't do. Okay? That's how I feel about that. Moving along. I know this is outdated, but again, I want to give you a little bit of the person I am and who you're dealing with. Understand something. I am not a financial advisor. I don't know nothing about the shit that they kick back and forth. I don't know nothing about taxes. I hire a CPA, let's be honest, okay? But I do have a mind, okay? God has blessed me with a mind to understand and look at things my way, the same way that you have a mind to look at things your way. I'm not trying to say I'm right. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm not trying to say you're right. I'm not trying to say I'm wrong. What I'm saying is, these are my beliefs. This is what I think, okay? The stimulus money. We, as a country, went out and said, hey, if you make more than this amount, you don't need help. If you make less than this, you must need help. Now, I can tell you this. I accepted that stimulus money. I did not need help. I don't think I'm alone here. I don't think I'm alone here. With that being said, do you think if we just had someone in there that actually gave a fuck and said, hey, you know what? Let's put all this money out there kind of as a loan, a low interest rate loan. So whatever it would cost to service this loan, let's just use this as number, 1% servicing, right? So it costs 1% interest to service the loan. Let's charge a 2% loan, 2% fee to have the loan, okay? What that would have done to individuals like myself, in my opinion, is allowed us not to accept that money. I am not going to take a loan on money that I have to repay because I don't need it today. But somewhere along the lines, there should have been a safety net for people that did not take it, where if you did fall on hard times, you can take it. No credit check here, okay? We're not talking about a credit check type situation. Everyone is guaranteed approval. This is what you're able to get, and this is what we're doing. Yes, we would probably made it a little bit strenuous for people to prove that they are having hard times. Maybe, something to do with the mortgage, rent, etc., etc. But let's not jump over there just yet. So now what would happen is someone like myself that did not need the money would have said, I don't need the money, and that $1,400 would have went back into the kitty, if you will, right? The pot. So now this other family over here that really does need the money, right? Because they're trying to put food on the table. They lost their job. Yes, they're getting unemployment, but they're still just scraping by, right? Their cars might be getting repoed because they're falling behind in debt. And yes, I know there was no repos, no evictions, etc., etc. But what do you think is going to happen to the renter who skipped a year? Do you think the landlord's going to say, "Oh, don't worry about the year. That's on me"? Or do you? Yeah, and actually, that did happen in New York, believe it or not. I believe a landlord did end up giving a few months to their renters, but that's not the point. And that was a beautiful gesture. I'm sure he has some tax write-off incentives, but nonetheless, he still did it. Regardless to the reason why he did it, and he helped out a bunch of New Yorkers in their time of need. Okay, kudos to that man, to that business, to whatever. So now you have a bunch of people like myself who did not need that $1,400 stimulus. Our money went back into the kitty. So now instead of this person only getting $1,400, maybe now they could increase their loan to something higher, right? And then something higher if they need enough to just get by. We're not giving you loans here to go Louis Vuitton shopping. We're not giving you loans here to go buy cars, okay? We're giving you loans to pay the rent and to put food on the table. Maybe one way that we issued some of that money was through the EBT welfare system, right? Okay, you need a loan, you have cash for food. What we're going to do is we're going to allow you to take that cash and spend it wherever else. We're going to give it to you in this. We're going to give it to you in housing vouchers. Somehow or another, we're just going to give it to you, but not just give you the money. And I understand what they were thinking was, let's boost the economy, right? At least that's what they sold us on. Did no one see inflation coming? So all that they did, in my opinion, is they gave money to all these people. People like myself didn't go out and spend the money. I put the money in my bank account. Like, why would I go all willy-nilly and spend that money? I'm not an idiot when it comes to money. I'm somewhat intelligent, right? So that's kind of my train of thought with that. There were a lot of people, you've seen spikes, it was all over the news, where you've seen these people going out and buying new sneakers. And I can tell you this, I'm in the car game, right? For those of you that don't know, I buy and sell used cars on the side. It's not my career, that's my hobby. So I seen a spike in the amount of cars that were being sold. Why is that? Well, because people had this disposable income. Now we're in a situation where people don't want to go back to work, right? Why do you think that is? You give. People, you've created this, I hate to say lazy, but you've created this lazy mentality where people don't want to go back to work. People are content staying home collecting money. Unfortunately, that money comes from the taxpayers. Unfortunately, taxpayers are the middle class, like myself, working people, okay? We have to continuously pay for that instead of everyone just getting a job where you can, and honestly, get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? It sucks that the minimum wage is $10 an hour. I get that, okay? But minimum wage was never meant for you to get a minimum wage job and buy a home and do all this other stuff. Minimum wage was really there so potentially you can go to school, right, and get a better job, right? So you got an entry-level job, and I work at a hospital where they employ a bunch of people at $10 an hour, okay? And then my employer gives, I think, $16,000 for them to take advantage of to go to school. In exchange for that $1,600, they have to do 2 years of service. So let's just say you went and you're a nurse now. So for, I think, the 1 year you're in school and 1 year postgraduate, You're working at a competitive rate at the place that paid for you to go to school. You did not have to look for a job. You were already built into a system. Chances are you were working on a unit with people you enjoyed working with. So there's all these benefits to that. So that's what, in my opinion, should be done with the minimum wage. If you want to raise it to $15 an hour, by all means, raise it to $15 an hour. But just keep in mind, you raise that to $15 an hour, it's still the minimum wage. So everything else around that, right, will start to increase. Gas will start to increase. Milk will start to increase. Eggs will start to increase. Rent's going to start to increase. So what's that going to do? Again, in a number of years, you're going to find yourself not being able to afford certain things. And what's going to end up happening to the person who, let's just say, makes $30 an hour, right? You've now decreased the amount of money that they make. Sure, they still make 30, but instead of paying $2 a gallon for gas, now they're paying $4, right? They're still making the same amount of money, but you've managed to raise everything up. Again, just my opinions. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is just how I see money. And by all means, please disagree with me if you do, because I would love to see it another way. All right? The welfare system, EBT. And again, I'm not getting on one side or the other. People in this world need help. It was never intended to be a long-term thing, okay? But instead of telling my people, right, because I feel you guys don't know my history, but let me just say this. Don't look at the stuff that I have now, and I don't have a lot, and think that this is the way things have always been. I've grown up around people, and it doesn't matter. What matters is this. I have a connection with these people that are on the system, in the system, right? From prison to welfare to just the everyday struggle, right? So we have the government giving people money for food and homes, stuff along those lines. That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you for your help. But do you guys actually know? A friend of mine was getting assistance. She tried to go out and get a job that only paid her $300 a month, okay? Not a week, a month, people. Hear me out. A month. They damn near cut her benefits by half. So what does that tell you? The people that are giving you this money don't want to see you get ahead. They're not trying to help you. Okay, let that sink in for a second. Isn't that a funny thing to look at? Someone's giving you money, help. But the second you start to help yourself, they don't want to help you no more. It's kind of controlling, right? That's kind of a controlling issue that we have here. Okay? I teach my kids, both of my kids, my little guy's 11, my oldest one right now, well, they're mine. 15, gonna be 16. I spend a lot of time with her, and I try to show her things about money. And anytime I get to, and she probably hates hanging out with me because of this, because there's always a lesson learned. And we were watching a movie last night, and of course it was, just a movie, and something happened, and she had asked, why was this? And I said, well, this is why that happened. Even in the movie, this is why it happened. And you could see her little eyes like, oh shit, that makes sense. Almost like a light bulb went off, And for me, that's one of the greatest rewards. One of the best things in this world that I can do is help other people. All right. So back to what I was talking about. If you really wanted to help my people, right? If you really wanted to help people that needed assistance, why don't we help them with schooling? Why don't we say, hey, listen, let's just use the medical field, because usually the medical field is the one field that you'll always be able to find a job, nursing in particular, okay? So let's use nursing. If you want to go to school, I'm going to incentivize it for you. Now hear me out. I'm going to send you to a 4-year school, because most schools now for nursing need a bachelor's degree, 4-year schooling. As long as you pass and you continue to get a passing grade. I don't need A's, B's, C's, whatever the passing grade is. We're going to work this on a pass or fail system. As long as you pass, you'll continue to get the assistance you need. Okay? You will also not have to pay for your schooling. Okay? So, let's just hear me out here. Well, why do you want to give free schooling to those people? Well, they get everything. The working class gets fucked. Well, here, let me tell you why. Give me a minute before you fucking throw me in the sewer here, okay? The reason why is because in my mind, I want to help people that need help, number one. Number two, we're taking someone who's not potentially paying taxes and taking money from the government and giving them a whole new life. You know, as a nurse, let's just say $60,000. I think that's conservative. $60,000 they're gonna make as a nurse, okay? So now when you tax that at 20%, let's just say 20%, all right? You're taxing them $12,000 a year, okay? Schooling, let's just say on the high end, is $24,000. After 2 years of taxes, they have now replenished the money that they spent on their tuition without even knowing it. Now, sure, it's probably going to take 4 after you divvy up all the taxes and where it's going to go. I get that part of it, okay? I'm not an idiot. But what you did was you created someone that was taking from the system, and now they're giving back to the system. Also, what happens if that same individual decides to move out of that lower income housing area with their children? And let's just say this person has 2 kids, okay? 2 kids. They move from when these kids leave their front door, all they see is drug dealers or murderers or just inner city blues, okay? Now they went to a working class community where everyone in this neighborhood is trying to get ahead. So now the mentality of the child and what they see and influenced by has changed, okay? They're not used to seeing people get. They're not used to seeing people doing things because they don't want to fuck up their money. What they're now used to seeing is their mother or father or both bettering themselves, using the government assistance to go to school to better themselves. They then didn't go out and buy this flashy vehicle because they also learned about money. Hopefully we can say, hey, one of the stipulations in taking the money is you have to take financial classes. No, I'm not talking about no fucking Dave Ramsey, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real life financial education here. Real life, okay? Learn about it and understand how credit works. Understand how this works. Understand everything it takes. So now you have 2 parents. Did I just say that correct? Did I just say that you won't get penalized for having both of your parents in the home? You missed that. Did you know that? You get paid more not to have one of the parents in the home. It's almost like someone's paying our people to not be together, right? A broken home, in most cases, is an unsuccessful home, especially when children are involved. I'm going to say this, and I hate to say this, and there's exceptions to every rule. Mothers don't know how to be fathers, and fathers don't know how to be mothers, okay? We can do the best we can do, but there's a reason and a value that your partner brings to the table, okay? I could not do my daughter's hair. I can't go in her room right now and do her hair. And that's not the only thing that her mother does. I'm sure they have talks about boys and all these other things, okay? I can't do that. I mean, I could say, you know, hey, if this boy hurts you, I got a 12 gauge and a shovel and some lye lying around. You know what I mean? I could do that, but that's not what she wants to hear when she's crying because some asshole broke her heart. That's the rage that's going through my heart. But that's where the mother comes in and offers her that motherly love, if you will. So I don't want to penalize people for being together, right? I don't think it's fair. Back to the story. So now you have this family in a different environment where the schooling is better, right? And let's just be clear here, again, for transparency. Drugs, violence, and everything that goes along with that happens everywhere all over the country. It just seems to happen more in lower income areas than it does in not. Okay? So let's not say, oh, well, this doesn't happen here because it's, you know, more money. No, that's not true. It's not true at all. But the likelihood is a lot less. And if you're a decent parent, you're paying attention to what your children are doing. Okay? My daughter goes to the mall. I will drive to the fucking mall and see what the fuck's going on. I don't care. Maybe I'm overprotective. But you want to know something? When that motherfucker in that van's looking to snatch a kid and he sees my big fucking ass sitting there with my thing next to me, he's gonna think twice. I promise you. He'll catch a bad one. I'm no tough guy. What I am is a parent who loves their children. Okay? That's all I am. I'm not saying that you should go out vigilante style, but I'll be damned if someone hurts one of my kids. I'll let you know that right now. I know a lot of you out there right now are saying fucking right. Damn motherfucking right. And thank you for that. I appreciate the support. Hit the subscribe button. Show it for real. I need that. So anyway, so why are we not doing that? Why are we not truly helping, right? Because isn't there some stupid ass saying about a fish in a lake or feed somebody some shit? I don't fucking know. But you guys know what I'm saying. Like feed someone today, teach them to hunt tomorrow. No. If you feed someone, no. If you teach someone to fish today, they could eat tomorrow. If you give someone... There's a fish saying. Google that shit, okay? And I think there's a third part to it, but no one ever says it because I think it's negative. But I don't know for sure. Any which way. So that's how I feel about that, guys. And I hope you agree with me. And if you don't, let me know. Because I genuinely want to take people that I grew up with and I come from, and I want them to be successful, right? I want them to be financially stable. I don't want them to rely on the government that can take away whatever the fuck they want to take away whenever they want to take away. I mean, look at this new shot they got going around for this other fucking thing, right? Now you got this guy talking about, oh, well, if you're federal, you might have to get it. This is my body. What right do you have to tell me what to do with my body? Right? So understand, we live in a world right now where a lot of the freedoms we thought were free are not. And you're going to see, we've shut down restaurants. We've put restaurants out of business, right? Mom and pop shops where you could buy the same stuff that these big box stores have were not allowed to open. But yet Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart, Amazon, well, let's say this. Walmart, Lowe's, and Home Depot were able to stay working. Where like Ace Hardwares and these mom and pop hardware stores and little grocery stores, the bodegas, they were all restaurants. They were forced to close, right? McDonald's didn't close. They were open for business, right? So this is what happened. Instead of seeing an increase in, let's just say, Uber, where, hey, you know what? I have this beautiful Italian restaurant. Because of the pandemic, we're not going to close, but we're going to really hit hard and deliver food. No, they wanted us to close. Even though these other big, well, that's a restaurant, so that's not entirely fair. But, small pharmacies, stuff like that, like the independently owned mom and pop spots were closing, okay? But yet, Amazon was able to stay in business. A fucking factory? Have you ever worked in a factory? Have you ever seen how close you are in a factory? Truly, have you ever even been to a factory? Have you ever made $6 an hour to work in a factory, elbow to elbow, sweating your balls off? Let me tell you this right now. Most of those people in those factories were not wearing that mask because it is so hot. Okay? Factory work sucks. It's not somewhere where you want this thing on your face. Shit, most people don't want it on their face to walk around outside, let alone loading and unloading boxes. But because Amazon is such a fucking conglomerate, they were able to stay in business. Do you guys not see what's happening in the world around you? And again, maybe I'm wrong. Comment. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Because believe me, I want to see it from your side. Because I've tried. I don't see it. Have you noticed Amazon and Walmart, they're not afraid to pay $15 an hour? Do you know why they're not afraid to pay $15 an hour, in my opinion? Because they're making it so that the little guy can't afford $15 an hour. They are legitimately buying out without buying out their competition. When there's no more corner stores left and there's no more places you can go to because these big places made it that no one wants to work there anymore, and that's your right. As an employee, that's your right. But understand something. Now, these places have the right to raise prices to whatever the fuck they want to raise prices to. They're the only game in town. We sell cars, people, right? If we were the only car dealer in town and no one else could go anywhere for another car, I can charge $10,000 for a 2003 Toyota Camry with 200,000 miles on it. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? I took out all the competition. All you have left is Dave Mose. That's it, baby. Hand me the money. Unless you want to buy a new pair of Nikes. That's the name of the game. They have the money to do it. They're doing it. The government's allowing it. Actually encouraging it. Again, if I'm wrong, hit me up in the comments, okay? Let me know I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that the world, the way I look at it, is so fucked that it's not real. Okay? It's crazy. They have us arguing with each other as human beings because you want to wear a mask and I don't want to wear a mask. Okay? When was it ever mandated that you can't do this? Like, you have to wear a mask. Like, you have to wear a mask. Well, if I'm not afraid of this thing that's going around, right? Oh, so the argument is, well, you got to do it for other people. Well, if I'm doing it for other people that are afraid, maybe they shouldn't come outside. That's an argument, people. That's an argument. And if they are afraid, maybe they should invest in N95 masks. Because I can tell you this, when you go into a patient's room or you deal with a patient that is active with it, you have to put an N95 mask on. So if you're that fearful of it, number one, limit the time that you're outside. Number two, figure out the times where there's less traffic. I believe on Google now tells you when certain stores are the busiest, okay? So figure it out. Go there during those times, right? Protect yourself. And I'm not trying to get into the debate of masks being helpful or not. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if a mask that you could spray aerosol through and the aerosol comes out the other side is really protective. I'm sure it is more protective than not wearing the mask, but I don't know to what degree. I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you this. When they say wear the mask, I wear the mask, right? Like sheep. Okay, I'll wear the mask. I had no choice though. They made it so you had to, you know. Interesting thing the other day, they're like, oh, do you guys remember the iron lung with polio? Like, I don't think we're there, you know. And again, I'm not saying one way or another. I'm not saying to or don't get the shot that protects you. What I'm saying is, if you do your homework and you research how long it takes to know if something is safe or not, we haven't had the thing that it's protecting out long enough to know. In my heart of hearts, and again, I'm not saying not to get it, but I'm saying for me, I just feel like we are the test subjects. I feel like we're the test subjects in that. And you have to make your own mind up in terms of that. You know, if you think that it's going to protect you, by all means, do it. It's a free country as of right now. But I don't think that you should force people to get it if they don't believe in it. It's not fair. It's not paying taxes. Paying taxes is something that you should have to do. You should have to pay taxes because it helps schools. Well, I ain't got no kids. Sucks for you. Everyone else does, and you live in a great school district. It costs money to make that school district the way it is. FYI to you, motherfucker, who thinks you shouldn't have to pay because you have no kids. The reason why your house is valued as high as it is because you live in a good school district. So don't sit here on your high horse acting like you don't have kids and you shouldn't have to pay, because that good school district is one of the reasons why your house value is so high. It's like crime. If every single house in the neighborhood is getting popped and rocked every single night, it's gonna come down. You don't live in a safe neighborhood. That's why you pay for more police. So shit like this happens at a very small scale. Okay? It's not anything else. Like there's the road. I don't have a car. Why do I gotta pay taxes for the roads? Because if it again, it helps your house value. If pulling up to your house, you gotta dodge and weave a bunch of fucking potholes and drive over a lime road. For those of you who don't know what a lime road is, it's lime basically put on dirt, and when you drive, it turns your car completely white. The most annoying thing in the world, I guess, unless you have a white car. But if you have like any colored car, as soon as you get in there, it looks like salt for your northerners. It looks like salt has been all over there, okay? It's like baby powder. Go take baby powder right now and throw it all over your fucking car. That's what your car looks like after you drive through a lime road, okay? So, a lime road, whatever it's called. So, you know, just because you have a car doesn't mean you're not getting the benefits of paying the taxes for the roads, because it's increasing a paved road to your home increases the value. Fuck, motherfucker, how easy does that to be than that? A good school helps your house with the value. How hard is that to understand? It's not about your kid going to school. It's about the property value. And for those of us that do have kids, damn straight, when I chose to buy in this neighborhood, the first thing I looked at was how good the school was. FYI, I was a single man when I bought this home. You know why? Because the resale in an area like I bought in with low crime and a good school district is a lot better than high crime and a shitty school district. I'm an idiot, people. I'm a street guy. I am a legitimate street guy with almost no education. But I can come up with this shit, and you can't? Come on, guys. Leave comments. Seriously, dig in my ass, man. Make me feel stupid, because I really want to see it from your point if you disagree. And to all my car subscribers, I'm sorry. We are still going to do car stuff, okay? I promise you. We're going to do car stuff. But this video was really just an introduction to some of the things that really get me going and just where I'm at. You know, we're going to talk about leveraging credit. Let's talk about credit real quick, okay? Just to kind of like a preview to the next video, okay? Credit. Credit's like the motherfucking devil. Credit is some shit, man. You were legitimately selling parts of your soul to buy shit with money you don't have. Credit. I want to own the credit game. I really do. I want to do it different. Credit is great for people who need it. Two ways. One, leverage your credit. Use their money against them to make your own money. Or two, use that money on credit, like a buy here, pay here, right? And so I don't want to get too much into it, but let's just say this. There's good and bad parts of credit. And a big portion of this country is built on credit. The more credit people have, the more money they're paying in. The more likely they are to have to continue to work and pick up extra shifts and everything else. The more extra shifts you pick up, the more overtime you work, the higher your tax bracket, right? You don't get less taxes because you work more. That's not actually how it works. As a matter of fact, you can work so much that you worked yourself into a higher tax bracket. There's a sweet spot where it's like, okay, if I stop working now, I will actually bring home more money than if I worked an additional 5 hours. Okay? There is that sweet spot. Case in point, we had a hurricane here in Florida about 3 or 4 years ago, and I knew I was on Hurricane Team A, which means I was going to be spending some time in the hospital. I ended up spending 3 days in the hospital. I knew I was going to get taxed like there was no tomorrow because I was on the clock for 24 hours with hazard pay. And don't hold me to this, but I think it's double time for when I'm sleeping and almost triple time from when I was actually having to work. Now, when I was sleeping, I was still on call. So if the shit went down, I had to get up and go, okay? And it would have switched over from my sleeping hazard pay to my working hazard pay. But they needed people to stay in the hospital 24/7 during this period. So knowing that I was going to go into this, because we had about 4 days leading up to it, I quickly called my retirement plan, I guess, or retirement advisor, whoever that handles my retirement. And I said to them, hey, bump me up to like 40 or 50%, right? Because the way I looked at it was either the government's going to get it in the form of taxes, or I'm going to put it into my 403B and I'm going to have it. Sure, I'll pay taxes on it later on in life when I pull it out, but I won't be paying this tremendous amount now. And at least this way, I still get to save some of it, because if I pay taxes the other way, I get none of it, right? So that's what I did. I ended up saying, let me get 40 or 50%. to my retirement plan, and they were able to do it before we had gotten paid. And, you know, when we were having lunches and stuff like that, I told everyone what I did, and they were like, well, why wouldn't you tell me? Blah, 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 blah. And I didn't think I was keeping anything a secret. I just thought it was common knowledge, because the way I look at it, like I just said, either I'm going to get it or the government's going to get it. So I'd much rather get it. And I just bumped up my retirement. And I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you just look at it normally, that's kind of, you know, almost common sense. So that's that, guys. I'm long-winded too. I could talk my ass off. But seriously, if you liked the video, if you made it this far, subscribe. I'm going to get into why you as viewers have so much power. And if you don't know this, I'm going to tell you why you're being exploited as viewers. And a lot of you guys probably know this, but you don't really actually look at it this way. And this, because of the way I look at it, is the reason why I said to you in the very beginning of this video, if I do come up with a package, a condensed package, and sell it, that's just for my people that just want to get directly to the bread and the butter of it, right? The meat and the potatoes. The free part, which is exactly like what you're paying for, just not condensed, is the shit that's going to go on YouTube, okay? And that's the truth. That's exactly the truth. So, without a doubt, do your boy a favor, hit the subscribe button. I'm not begging. I'm actually asking you to do me the solid, all right? It really does help. I'll tell you why. I'm sure you know why, but I'll actually tell you the breakdown of it and why these other YouTubers have so many giveaways and why some of them try to, you know, the newest thing going around YouTube right now is the 60% of viewers are not subscribed. Yeah, the reason why they're doing that is because they need the subscribers, because it creates money, it creates revenue, and it's not a ton of money, but it is a significant amount. You know, and granted, there is some time and editing that goes into these videos, but what are you giving back to your subscribers? What are you giving back? Everyone knows I really hate this motherfucker from Massachusetts. I really just dislike his ass, you know. And I don't know that I've ever watched one of his videos for educational purposes, but yet I have a friend, Judith, I did not forget you. I have a friend in New York, and her friend actually bought his schooling thing or whatever to become a used car dealer. And all it was a bunch of videos. Meanwhile, here I am not charging anything, allowing motherfuckers to call me on my phone. Let's chop it up, man. Judith and I were on the phone for almost 2 hours. And we had a conversation. She was able to ask any questions she wanted to, and I was giving her the best answers I could. But most of the information did come from me just telling her how I did this and how I did that, so on and so forth. But anyways, guys, I gotta go. This video took a lot longer than I anticipated, and I gotta get my ass to the shop. So hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and definitely leave a comment. If you don't agree with me, don't be don't be a keyboard tough guy, but state your point. You know, make it some facts, and honestly, if you really want to, you know, help me out, because if you think you're right and you think I'm wrong, I'm giving you the opportunity. An opportunity that not too many people give other people, but I'm giving you an opportunity to teach me why I'm wrong. I'm not an individual that's going to dig my heels in and say my way is the right way. I want to learn. I genuinely want to learn the way you're looking at things, because I can't see it any other way other than my own without your help. I appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. I'm out of here.
That's my best friend.